Back here on Birds Huddle, joined by the man in the cap, Jason Avant. Great to be 3-0, sir.
Yeah, it's great to be 3-0, and I had to break up the ball-headedness, so that's why I was.
Hey, I ain't mad at it because the cap looks good on you.
Right.
Talk about Jalen Carter a little bit. No matter how high your expectations were for this guy coming into the season, I don't know if anybody expected him to make this big of an impact right away. What are you seeing from him, Jason?
His ability to destroy double teams and how quickly he does it is unbelievable. The first guy, most of the time, doesn't know what happened to him. That's how fast his hands are moving, and he's into that second guy and pushing him back just like a sled. And then he's just aware. He's aware of scenarios and situations. That fumble, he knew he couldn't get home, so he finds, locates the running back, strip sack, goes in with violence. Nobody can guard this guy, and it's pretty impressive to be a rookie in doing this.
I wouldn't want Carter punching the ball out for me by any means, coming with that fist.
But see, I mean, and I talked about it last night on the postgame show live. Jalen Carter did these things in college. He has been coached up by whoever coached him in college, that he has this awareness on how to go out there and make those type of plays. His ability to go out there and figure out, all right, on a double team block, who do I need to put my body into? All these things come from him and his ability to understand what offenses are trying to do to him. So when I said, earlier that, yes, I thought he was going to be this good because to me, he was the best player in this year's draft. But second of all, he understands what offenses are trying to do to him on the defensive side of the ball. He's getting it. He understands it. So that's why he's able to play at a high level now. And we've only scratched the surface on how really good he can be.
Let's talk about this secondary. We had some concerns going into the game after the Eagles lost Avonte Maddox. They opted mostly to go with James Bradbury in the slot and Josh Jobe on the outside. And overall, they seem to get the job done that way. What do you think of that, Jason?
Well, one of the reasons they were able to get done is because they were able to rush the passer with four guys, and that's always a benefit when you have Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, guys that are playing at an extremely high level. When they're playing like this, you can go without. And Josh Jobe is going to need some help going forward. We're going to need, he's put a lot of things on tape playing off. A lot of people were frustrated in those third downs where he was just giving up the first down. So they're going to need some help coming in, but I think that Bradbury will be solid in the slot. He has to learn that physical portion of the game. A lot of those guys that make that much money didn't sign up to get hit and be responsible for the A and B gap at times. You don't want that.
All right, from one pass catcher to another on the other side of the ball. We talked a lot last week about A.J. Brown and his sideline discussion with Jalen Hurts. So what happens? He gets 9 catches, a $131 receiving ho-hum. So I guess everything's good right now, Jason.
You better. You better get some yards on 9 catches. We need to get those 2 touchdowns back. We'll get them later next game.
Right.
But you better, when you make this much media attention, you got to come out and you have the ball. And this was an effort by Brian Johnson, Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts to get this man the ball. And it was warranted. He played really well last night.
A lot of yards after the catch.
A lot of yards after the catch. I will say this is that when you target this guy 14 times, it's good for our offense, but also it sends a message to everybody else. So I wonder how many other people are going to be the squeaky wheel now, the person that's saying something so they can get some yards too, some passes
Absolutely. You saw him do it. So it's like, all right, maybe I need to do the same thing. But there's so many weapons on this offense, so it's going to be kind of hard for them to go out and say, all right, it's your turn this time, it's your turn that time. You just got to rely on Hurts getting it to the open guy.
You get it to the open guy, and the truth of the matter is they didn't have to throw the ball last night.
Right.
They didn't have to, but they were trying to give A.J. Brown his targets, and sometimes I get scared about that when you consider all of the guys.
Yeah, just waiting for that Dallas Goedert breakout game now. All right, for the second straight game, the Eagles ran all over their opponent, number 1 run defense or not. Can this continue is the big question. Will teams start selling out to stop the run and putting a bunch of guys in the box? How do you think defenses are going to counter this, Jason?
It's pick your poison. You said it in the last segment. It's pick your poison. You can try your best to get as many people in the box as you can, but that means Jalen Hurts is going to go out and throw for 400 yards. You leave these guys like A.J. Brown one-on-one, he's a broken tackle away from a touchdown. The same way with Devontae Smith, same way with Dallas Goedert, and also DeAndre Swift in the screen game. There's so many weapons on this team. It's going to be very, very hard to just stop one element of this team.
I heard you and Barrett talking in the break about your impressions of Jalen Hurts last night against the Todd Bowles defense. Barrett, you felt like he didn't play as bad as maybe Jason, maybe you thought he might have played a little bit different. What did you think of Hurts in the pocket last night?
It was better when it comes to passing. We've had some rain games, we had some things, but up to Jalen Hurts' standard, the Super Bowl standard that he set last year, this wasn't his best game. He could have thrown 4 picks last night, very, very easy. He ended up with 2, but he really could have thrown 4. But he got the ball out when it was time to. He has to just sit back and take what the defense is giving. They were actually practicing last night. This Bucs team could not handle the Eagles. So they went out there knowing they could run the ball and say, you know what, let's get Jalen and AJ's timing together. So they were just having practice between them two.
Yeah, I like that, you know. But, I mean, just like you said, you know, pick your poison. Jalen Hurts is such a good guy, such a good quarterback that he's going to get it to the open guys. So, yeah, I mean, it's pitch and catch, you know, like you said. But at the end of the day, you have the ability to throw on the outside like that. It's going to make that box get smaller. And that means you're going to have 6 guys in the box, and then they're going to run the ball on you. Then, you start running the ball. They put the extra defender in. They put 8 guys in there. Then you can go out to the guys on the outside. It's really pick your poison. You're wrong every time you look at it because he can go to outside and he can go inside.